Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barber, and with me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
Yes, we're football fans. We watch football on Saturday and Sunday. That's why we call it Saturday versus Sunday. And this is our review of the Kansas-Missouri game on Saturday. What are your initial thoughts?
We got to have this game every year.
Oh my goodness.
This was so much fun. And I saw some comment sections on some of the reviews of the game talking about, like, can we not get this thing back? How can these athletic directors not get their act together and just make this a standard game?
Yeah.
Like that was one of the best games of the weekend.
And it fits so well with the style, like both Kansas style, Missouri style. Like it's really, and even though it's like an SEC and a Big 12, like it looked like two teams that were rivalry teams and playing each other. So it was a great atmosphere and it was a great game.
Mm-hmm. So my big, in capital letters, note is Missouri has a quarterback.
Yeah, that was going into it. They weren't sure, right? Because Beau Pribula, like he was a backup in Penn State. And it was a transfer and hasn't had to do a lot, throw around. And Missouri's had a history of really excellent quarterback play.
Yes.
And so that was a big deal coming in. And it's like 30 for 39 for over 300 yards and 3 TDs, no interceptions. That was his coming out game, I think, was Beau Pribula this week.
And that was super efficient all through the air. And this nonsense about him being a running quarterback, he had 6 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
And he just shredded them in the air. It was, yes. I mean, along the way, it was, oh my God, this, like, here we go again. Another in the line of, like you say, another in the line of Missouri quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. What really doesn't make sense to me is the box score, okay? Because Kansas ran for 3 yards, which is terrible. Some of it is minus 25 for the
safety.
Yeah. And they only threw for 223 yards. Yet when you look at, it like a sort of the play-by-play, in the third quarter, they were up 24-21, like in a position to win it. And in the fourth quarter, they were up 31-28. With that limited offense, which is crazy because Missouri had significantly, or what's the final thing? So the total yards was 226 yards by Kansas and 595 by Missouri. And yet Kansas was winning both in the third and the fourth quarter. Like, that's crazy.
Right. So, well, I think there was a key turnover there that got him some points there. So that was, it's hidden. There's no yards really associated there. But you're right. I when you look at the box score, it's so strange. It's 600 yards or 595. Yeah, 600 yards with Missouri, and you're thinking, how is this possible? Like, how does Kansas get to 31 points just on 226 yards? It doesn't even sound right. And the other major point, like you brought up, is all of that happened. A lot of it happens in the final few minutes of the fourth quarter. So Missouri has 2 75-yard touchdown drives at the second half of the fourth quarter. One of them is just 3 run plays for 75-yard touchdown. I mean, and the big thing was the big 63-yard run there. So it's just a weird. Afterwards, it's like, how did the box score get here? I mean, Missouri had 2 guys go over 100 yards rushing in this game. I mean, that's how you get to 600 yards. You run for 260 and you throw, like, it's everything worked. When I was making my notes, it's like everything worked.
Well, and this would have been my takeaway from this was, if I was a Missouri fan and losing in the fourth quarter, and they could have gone on to lose with that differential in sort of the total yards, it would have been crushing. Like, it would have been, but that's why football is so great. And that's why it's entertaining, because there's a lot of other, field position, turnovers, like you said, make a big deal. So it's, but they've got, Missouri looked fantastic. And they stopped Kansas when they needed to. Kansas has a good offense, and they were 3 and out twice in the fourth quarter, which put them in a position to come back and win this.
And so somebody who just jumped right off the screen was Kevin Coleman Jr., wide receiver for Missouri, 126 yards and a TD. So he's a transfer and had some success before as well. But my God, he who he reminds me in the open field? Dante Hall.
Ooh,
he just has like that wiggle, like when he gets once the ball's in his hands, it's not obvious anyone's getting their hands on him. Unless someone's super tight on him, he's making 1 or 2 people miss. And he has that, like, you get the sense he views the entire field as, I'm using the whole field and turning upfield, and I'm not just going to stab for a yard or two. I'm going to sideline to sideline, whatever it takes, I'm going.
Mhm.
And he multiple plays that he did that.
Yeah, listed at 5'11", 180, but plays way bigger than that, like on the field. And it's for him to be that disruptive, in that with that sort of, physical attributes is really, really says a lot about his wide receiver ability.
Yep. And so there was havoc. This is my kind of game. Like
Mhm.
Kansas was 7 TFLs, 4 sacks. Missouri 6 TFLs, 3 sacks. I love a game where both teams are playing across each other's line of scrimmage like constantly, and
Mhm.
just explosive offensive plays, big time defensive plays, like versus the grinded out Iowa State rock fight type game.
Mhm.
This game here, where all hell's breaking loose on both sides of this line of scrimmage, kind of the whole game long. To me, this is super entertaining. It might be frustrating, maybe for the fans of either team, feeling so like, oh Jesus, big score. Oh no, we just got like pushed way back.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just got sacked. Oh, big score, we just got sacked. Like it's like you just got to hang in there. What for these type of games? Obviously, every home team wants it to be you hold them, nothing happens, and we score. But you got to take the good with the bad, and I'll take this game every single time.
No, and I think that's a good point because it's for one team to have 600 yards and one team to have just over 200. It had amazing offense and good defense too, which is rare. Like it's sort of it went for this high scoring of a game, but it, like you said, they were in the backfield a lot. There was multiple sacks. Like that was, it's not like there was no defense in this game, which is you can't really didn't feel. This felt more defensive than the Baylor SMU game. We recorded that one earlier. If you haven't heard that review, go back and check that one out.
Yeah.
But that's the there was the defensive, some defensive players really shined in this game too.
Yeah, and so that's a good point. Even though Kansas gave up 590 yards, it was a couple of bad busted plays on 2 like kind of surprise long drives at the end of the fourth quarter. Now that's not to take away anything from Missouri. I think this offense is going to be humming this year.
Mhm.
Like they've got weapons all over the place. They've got weapons in the running back room, and they also, Jesus Christ, this offense. I mean, if this is even a remote example of what Missouri could look like this year, it could be a super fun year.
Mhm. No, and Daniels is good. Kansas is good. If I'm a Kansas fan, I'm super concerned about the running game because they had a running back with 6 carries, 11 yards. You're not going to win anything doing that. And even though they were in a position, they were leading, like I said, in the third quarter, leading in the fourth quarter. That's when, if you could just run the ball a little bit, that would have really changed this game around. And so they were not able to do that. Again, it's that we mentioned this in the Iowa review. When you're leading rushers, your quarterback for 10 carries for 17 yards, like that's not going to get it done.
It's not going to cut it.
No.
Yeah. So, well, let's finish off what can we say about Kansas, and then we'll finish about Missouri here.
Sure.
This could be, you could say, a Kansas fan could say this, we're really feeling the pinch of having no Kobe Bryant, no Mello Dotson, who right now I think are both on an NFL roster, be it practice squad, doesn't matter. Getting to an NFL roster is a big, big deal. So they lost 2 NFL caliber corners. And I think the absence of Devin Neal's hurting right now too.
Yeah.
And with all of that said, they were in this game in the fourth quarter, leading the game.
They were, and it's still they still look like a well-coached team, like it's still, and they've got a couple, they're hosting West Virginia. They host Cincinnati after that, which I think are winnable games for Kansas. They, so I think they could get a get right game coming up here before it gets into more of the more challenging Big 12 schedule. So it's, as a Kansas fan, you're still happy, and Daniels is still playing. So you're happy about that too, because so
yeah, he got a little loose with the ball there. I was thinking, oh no, it's the old Daniels back with all the turnovers, but he kind of held it together. And okay, so then what can we say about Missouri? 2-0 start. That's the start you want. I don't think anyone really knew what to expect in this game. I'm super happy this game is back. Pribula looks like the man here, and it's obviously he can play quarterback. He doesn't just run around. I hated that narrative that, he's just a running guy. That's because when they brought him in, they just called a few running plays for him. Like it's just, you had no sample to really know what he was going to look like. I think this offense probably can do this all year long. The potential weakness of Kansas missing their 2 best cornerbacks notwithstanding. I mean, I don't think it's just because Kansas has new people in place for those
No.
QBs. I think this offense can go, and that receiver, that catch that Donovan Oluwodie made, that stab he made between two players on the sidelines. Are you kidding me? Like this, there's some serious firepower on this offense. I mean, this is going to be must-watch TV, like Missouri's offense.
Yeah, and to your point too about Pribula, that was the thought of the running quarterback. And this is in this day and age with the transfers and everything, I don't think people realize like how long it takes for things to get settled in and like for people to be comfortable with the system and things like that. So, you know, that he hasn't been on this team for very long. Like this isn't like someone who sat behind, you know, the other quarterback for a couple of years and is coming in. Like they're still learning stuff. They're still installing stuff every week. You know, and you don't want to do it too fast, but you want to make sure you have enough offense to run it. So, you know, it was for those people who thought that he couldn't throw his way too early a decision, you know, for considering this person's just been here like a few months. So
pretty goddamn good. 595 yards week 2 on a new team, and you're likely still sorting out the whole offense. So Jesus Christ, future looks bright for Missouri, and the SEC probably should be on alert now.
Yeah, they've got some interesting games all of a sudden because Missouri's got South Carolina at home, Alabama at home, right? The next couple ones coming up. So they've got the firepower to at least hang with those teams. So,
and those teams have shown that they don't so far. Their firepower is highly questionable.
They haven't quite put it all together yet either. So
no. So future looks bright for Missouri, and you know, for Kansas, 2-1's fine. This is not a Big 12 game, so the Big 12 future is still ahead of them, and it's everything's on the table still technically for both teams, but especially Missouri. Holy smokes! All right, good place to leave it.
Yep.
All right. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barber, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.